It's springtime. Weather's getting nice, pollen's gonna start showing up, and so are a bunch of bugs. And that leads me to today's video. It might not seem like it's the most appropriate thing for fish, but trust me, you want to know. Hello everyone, this is Bentley. This video got prompted by, one, brother-in-law James actually suggested this, so thank you brother-in-law James. But two, I, in the last 2 weeks or so, have had, I think, 4 or 5 different people, and some of them are quite persistent, coming to my door offering bug spraying services. You know, the usual stuff. Oh, we're coming into your neighborhood. There's already several houses on board, so we get to offer you this amazing deal. Our service normally costs $300, but you can get it for $60, right? Something like that. You know, all this usual stuff. But that's not the part I'm actually talking about. Every single one of them I've talked to will tell you that their sprays that they're using, their defensive spray that they put around the outside of your house and get into your eaves and things like that, is pet safe. No, it's not. Let's talk about this for a second. One of the things that I've recently found out, because every single one that has come to my door, I have challenged with the exact same question. And I do it in a pretty aggressive fashion. I explain that I own many fish tanks, and that part of my life is aquariums. So I keep tropical fish. Do you know for certain that this is fish safe? And most of them are like, well, it's pet safe, it's derived from plants and stuff, or it's derived from a flower and it's all natural. So this is what I tell them to get me a definitive answer. Are you willing to accept legal liability should anything happen to my aquariums? That, one, tends to get them to leave me alone. But two, I've actually had 2 different ones get back to me. And they have said that fish and aquariums are quite literally the only thing that is not safe from their sprays. So every one of these companies, there's one that's been advertising relentlessly on Facebook called Pest. There's tons of different companies, even something like Orkin, which is a bit more aggressive, all your pest control type companies, even the ones that use the organic or plant-derived that are pet safe. From my experience, there's not a single one of these that are safe for our fish. And the best details I have got from a bug person, from one of the people who's actually high up in the company and understands the chemistry and all that kind of stuff, is that you cannot spray it within 5 feet of somewhere where indoor air or something like that, like an aquarium. If you had a sealed aquarium, within 5 feet you can't spray, or within 25 feet of an open air water source, like a pond. So if you do summer tubbing, or you really have a good central air system, and you've got, like me, I have a small AC unit that's out, basically right out this window out here. But that pulls air, and it's right against the house. So in spraying, they would spray directly over that, and that would pull into the house and run through my air system. And it has, albeit a small risk, it has a risk that airized, pet-friendly, pet-safe stuff could potentially get into one of my aquariums and kill my fish. That's a scary thought, right? So I kind of want to do this PSA in that I've recently learned this information. Most of the bug people just never come back to me, but I finally got definitive answers from 2 different companies, and you're going to have to forgive me. I don't remember the names of the companies. I think one is Active or something like Adaptive, something along those lines. They operate here in the Seattle area. Basically put, any one of them, they'll tell you they're plant-derived or they're flower-derived and that they're pet-friendly. But unfortunately, they're not when it comes to our fish. Fish are the one thing that are not safe from a lot of these pest control type sprays. So even if you were thinking about getting, say, your own pest spray, because maybe you commonly deal with lots and lots and lots of spiders and you don't like spiders, or ants are really common where you live, and you don't want to risk something like carpenter ants getting into your house. You have to be extremely careful with these sprays, whether it's a DIY, you're doing it yourself, or whether you're hiring a company, to make sure that nothing happens. So what can you do to protect your aquariums if you really do need a service like this? Well, number 1, you're probably going to want to shut down all your air pumps, all your water flow, and cover all of your aquariums really, really well, kind of almost like you would in a long-term power outage during the time in which the spray is being used. If you are possible, like say weather is okay like it is now, in the Northwest it's in the 60s, my house is about 68 to 70 degrees, depending on how hot it is outside right now. So my air conditioning is not really pumping very hard. You can turn all those things off for the couple of hours that you need for all those sprays to settle, to make sure that none of your air systems are pulling that air in during the spray and keeping it safe and mitigating the likelihood that it's going to get into your aquariums. Now, if you have summer tubs or something like that, this gets a lot harder because, frankly, they're probably against the side of your house or out somewhere else. So unless they're 25 feet plus away from the areas you're expecting to spray, you're going to have to take kind of a more aggressive approach. You might have to very, very thoroughly cover them, and this might include something like the akin of saran wrap or some kind of plastic wrap, something you can really seal down pretty tightly. You could potentially use something like an emergency blanket and tie it and bundle it in really tightly to make a good, solid cover. Really large tarps can work very well to cover like the entire tub, right? Some of these things to make sure that you're minimizing the likelihood that any of these kind of sprays are getting near the water itself and thus protecting your fish. Very similar to all your inside aquariums. Shut down any filters, air pumps, etc. And if you want to be extra careful, if you are using powered filters, whether it's internal aquariums, outside, whatever, and you have a way to put a bag of carbon, activated carbon, inside it for a while, this is very similar to like how we would remove medicine from an aquarium. We can use that carbon to potentially help protect when we start running the fish tank again. Or you could do a very, very thorough cleaning and then get everything back running. Is this the best option? No. Unfortunately, the best option is don't spray. But if you're in a place where it is a little more necessary, like I said, you deal with a significant number of ants and you're worried about your house, or you have serious problems with a particular pest and you kind of need to handle it every year, and maybe you're new to aquariums or you just didn't know and now you're a little paranoid, like this guy right here, take the steps, be safe, make it easy. A couple of hours of an aquarium being warm or not having flow should be okay. And then you can fire everything back up and you'll be good to go. That's it. That's my PSA. I know this is a short and simple one. I was going to do something different, but having dealt with these people the last 2 days, and brother-in-law James was like, hey, you should do a video about this. I was like, man, you're actually really smart. That's a really good idea, because I don't think I've ever seen anything about this in like FishTube. And I think it's worthy because as we're getting that time of year, you're probably like me. You've probably dealt with like 3 or 4 different companies being like, let us spray your house with chemicals, man. Let us do it. Let us do it. You're just like, I don't know. I don't need it. Or maybe you're like, you're right, I do kind of need that. Let me set it up. And a lot of them often put you on like a monthly plan or something like this. So it's something that you want to prepare for, because you never know if that company, when they come out, is going to be aware that, hey, they'll just think, oh, we're just told it's pet friendly, as opposed to like, no, not fish safe, and here's this person with a bunch of fish tanks, right? So make sure that you're protecting your fish tanks if you do need to use some kind of pest control spray. That's it, my friends. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I would love to hear from you in the comments down below. Is there a pest spray you've encountered that you know actually is fish safe? To my experience, there isn't one. But maybe there is. You might have like an old method, like, oh, you go and you spray out like peppermint oil to protect against rats or something like that. Like, okay, that's a little, not necessarily a true pest control spray, but it does work, for certain things, right? I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. I do all sorts of things here between plant tips, fish tips, random tips like this. We've got the Algae Buster Challenge going on over here, product reviews, all that kind of stuff. So I'm always bringing out something interesting and new, or at least I think it's interesting, so hopefully you will too. As always, my friends, thank you so much for watching, and stay awesome.